Today is a good day. The Bears win, and they win again. I don't know how they continue to find ways to win football games. At some point, winning one-score games becomes an art, and when you consistently win one-score games, it's a reflection of your team finding ways to get W's in the clutch. I am very, very proud of how that team came back in that game. First three quarters were awful, terrible, very, very bad showing in the first three quarters. But at the end of the day, when the team needs it most in the fourth quarter, this team has come through. That's something we haven't seen from any quarterback in my lifetime. I have not seen a single Bears quarterback put the team on his back pretty much in the fourth quarter repeatedly throughout a season. Justin Fields literally never did this. He literally always played his worst football in the fourth quarter. Trubisky every now and then would find ways to go down and win games. But, I mean, literally, Caleb Williams has 4 game-winning drives in his last 4 games. Four game-winning drives in his last 6 games. You cannot argue with that. It's really awesome to see a guy that I root for go out and continue to win football games. You look at the box score. Completion percentage is not great. 20 for 36. Let me do the quick math here. I'm not that smart, guys. Okay, that's 55%. That's not good. But you factor in the fact that receivers dropped like 6, 7, 8 passes. I mean, unironically, there were like 7 or 8 drops in this game. Zacchaeus had 3, dropped a touchdown. Who else? Swift dropped a 4th down conversion. It's at least like 4 right there. He probably had one. I'm trying to remember at this point, but like balls were coming out of. Oh yeah, Monunga had a drop. He had 1 target. It was a drop. Look at these 2 guys that did not drop the ball today. Or every time they were targeted, they made catches. Luther Burden, 51 yards on 3 catches, including that huge clutch yak play at the end of the game. Colston Loveland, 4 catches, 55 yards. Was not. Every time he was targeted, he made a catch. And he had a huge catch on 3rd down late in that game to keep the chains moving. Zacchaeus had 4 targets, had 1 catch. Had 3 drops. None of those throws to him, I can tell you right now, were bad. Had a drop in the end zone, had a drop on a 3rd down conversion, had a drop on another 3rd down conversion. So, that's just how it is. I forgot to make a post about this. Hold up. Let me find the... Oh, I got so many tabs. I gotta... Live. Insert. My bad, guys. I totally should have put this out before, but we are talking about going live and doing this. Okay, here we go. Over... Yippee. Anyways, sorry. I was just putting that community post out so that all my subscribers know that I'm live. Rome Odunze, 6 catches, 86 yards. He had a good first half and didn't really do too much until throughout the second half, but he came through on a big 3rd down conversion and caught that 1-yard touchdown pass before the Bears ended up getting back. But yeah, the rushing game, not too bad. 171 yards on the ground. It did feel a little like rough at times. I'm not going to lie. Like, the rushing game felt a little slow at times today. But at the end of the day, 171 team yards, 6.1 a carry, and they had 2 touchdowns. I'm glad that Monungai, despite not having a great game, did end up getting a touchdown, because he didn't get a touchdown last week. He didn't get a touchdown in 176 yards, bro. So he gets only 28, but he gets the score this time, so I'm happy for him. DeAndre Swift, hey, he had a couple of nice holes. 25-yard carry. That's, it was long. Not too bad. And, of course, Caleb Williams. 2 huge rushes on those last 2 drives to end at the end of the game. He literally rushed for 29 yards down the 1-yard line right before throwing a touchdown pass, and then ran for the game-winning score. The way that this guy put the team on his back, with receivers dropping passes left and right, escaping sacks all day long. And the fact that he did not take a sack in this game is genuinely unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't understand how he didn't take a sack in this game. He was dead to rights. I swear to God, 3 or 4 times in this game. I'm being dead serious. But he got out of it every single time. You want to see that? Oh, that's perfect. This is my first tweet I got queued up.
He said, listen, in years past, I always wanted to be in the perfect call, but here I kind of find
that should be a sack right there. That should be a sack right there. It's not. And that's Brian Burns, the guy who leads the NFL in sacks. Just whiffing. Whiffing. Great. He escapes and just immediately starts to take off. And then Thibodeau misses. Another really good defensive lineman, and he picks up a first down. Like, that was wizardry. That play specifically was, in my mind, the best evasion of the day. He had like 2 or 3 other ones where it was just like, how in the world did he not get sacked? I don't care if the play ended up in an incompletion. It's not a loss, right? So, right, of course, you think about the pivotal point of this game. Jackson Dart losing the football, Nashawn Wright picking it up, and Jackson Dart suffers a concussion on that play. And then in comes Russell Wilson, and he does absolutely nothing. He gets it into the hands of, what was it, Devin Singletary? Yeah, Devin Singletary. He cuts up for like 41 yards. They get to the goal line. They get down to the 1-yard line. Have 2 plays to get in the end zone. Can't do so. They settle for a field goal instead of going up 14 points. And I'm not going to lie, with how this defense has played this season, they probably were going to let up that touchdown on 4th and goal. They settle for the field goal. It's a 10-point game. And then the Bears end up going out and winning. So the drive chart. And both teams were not good. Let's see team starts. I was thinking about this here. Yeah, both teams were not good on 4th down. Not good. 1 for 4, both teams. I think it was right at the end of the game, after the Giants had ended the game. Joe Davis said that it was like the most turnover on downs in like 25 years or something ridiculous like that. 6 turnover on downs in this football game. Both teams highly inefficient on 3rd down. Both teams getting in their own way in certain aspects. But the Giants more so than the Bears. Like, seriously, Giants took 4 sacks. Where are the penalties? 10 penalties for 69 yards. The Bears only took 3 penalties in this game. That's really good stuff. 3 penalties, that's it. They were outpossessed. They didn't turn the football over. Like, say what you want about inefficiency or whatever and a bad completion percentage. This guy Caleb Williams does not turn the ball over. He really doesn't. I think he's got 4 picks this year. Yeah, he's with 12 touchdowns to 4 picks. That's a pretty good touchdown interception ratio. He's only thrown, 3 picks in his last 5 games. So what? Baltimore, New Orleans, and he threw a pick against the Raiders. So, it's really interesting. But yeah. Anyways, I want to see this. I want you all to see this. This is amazing. Watch 58. Darnell Wright, Mike King. I mean, I'm not the biggest Darnell Wright fan in the world, and I can tell you that right now because my brother's a bigger Darnell Wright fan. He's got his jersey, and I know he was salivating after this play. Just get out of the ground. You ain't spinning by me. And then Theo Benedict ain't letting Thibodeau get to him. And Caleb Williams buys enough time to complete the ball down the field. You got to give credit to the offensive line there. Just seriously, this team was excellent in the fourth quarter. It was literally seriously, a terrible showing for 3 quarters. And this team still finds a way to win. They looked dead in the water for 3 quarters in this football game. And yet, the clock, that quarter marker ticks to number 4, and all of a sudden, it just starts clicking, and this team starts playing very well. Caleb Williams nearly had 300 yards passing this game. Without any drops, this guy probably throws for 300 yards. And look, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Jackson Dart played a very good game. Didn't throw for a touchdown, didn't throw for a pick, but he did run for 2 touchdowns with 66 rushing yards, 242 yards against this Bears defense. I mean, he had a good game. Jackson Dart put this team in position to win without Neighbors, without Scatterboo. And frankly, I'm going to be honest, if he plays throughout this entire game, they'd probably finish. The Giants go out and win this game. So I'm telling you, man, that was the turning point. The 2 turning points in this game were Jackson Dart fumbling as the Giants are about to go up by 3 scores probably, and then getting hurt simultaneously as the Bears take long enough for them to be in the tent, and then all of a sudden Russell Wilson trots out there to start the fourth quarter. So, it's really interesting. And then Russell Wilson gets down to the 1-yard line, and they can't score a touchdown. And then the Bears go down and they end up scoring 2 touchdowns to go win the game. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm looking at the top of the scoreboard. How are the Cardinals down 28-0 to the Seahawks? Early second quarter. Holy cow, that's a rout. Let's see. Defensively was not great, but also at the same time, this team found ways to, how do I put it? Despite giving up a bunch of yards, they didn't let up a ton of points. Because that's the thing with last week with the Bengals, is that they let up, it was over 500 yards of offense to the Bengals, and they scored 42 points. The Giants had, let's see, what's the total offensive yards here? 431 total offensive yards and only 20 points to show for it. They were 1 for 4 in the red zone. Not good. Not good. Bears, 3 for 4. So that's the big thing right there. The Giants 1 for 4 in the red zone. The Bears 3 for 4 in the red zone. That's huge. Touchdowns in the red zone. CJ Gardner-Johnson had a really good game. He's looking like, I was more like, you know what, he'll be a good depth piece to just hold us over. He's like a low fringe starter to hold us over so we don't have to worry about Nick McLeod, and then the rest of the team will get back and we'll be fine. But he has stepped up in a huge way. That guy is playing very well. Again, he leads the team in tackles in this game with 9 of them and 7 solo. He got 2 sacks and 2 TFL. I think that both, I think the sacks go for TFL. Hang on, that's my bad. 2 QB hits as well. The guy was a wrecking ball in this game. He was really good. I was very impressed with CJ Gardner-Johnson. And I think this might be the right guy to pick up. I mean, he was on the Saints when Dennis Allen was the head coach there. He probably was running that Saints defense. So I think it's probably like, hey, I'm back in a defense that I am very familiar with and succeeded in. Oh, what do you know? He plays great again. So, yeah, Tremaine Edmonds with a good game, 1 TFL, 2 pass defended, including on the final play of the game to end it. Javon Dexter with half a sack, Montez Sweat with a half sack and a full sack, 1.5 sacks in this game, and a TFL. So Sweat got to the quarterback. That's nice. Austin Booker had a big run stop early in this game. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, very large, again, only 1 tackle, was largely ineffective. I hope I can see him do some more as the schedule toughens up. But very happy with how he played. Or not very happy with how he played, but still hopeful for, things. But again, he has some potential, and the Bears didn't give up too much. I know a lot of people were complaining about, we're hurting really bad on the trade deadline, and this is who we go get. I'm like, look, I don't love the move either. But at the same time, he is a guy to try and help out an injured defense. Now with Dio Odengbo out, which, I mean, irregardless, Odengbo was doing absolutely nothing. And then you get a guy like Tryon-Shoyinka coming in for very little. Like, I think it was a 6th and 7th rounder that the team gave up. They gave up pretty much nothing. So, regardless with how he plays, I think it ends up being a win. Even in this small department, right? But we look at some of these other things. I mean, not really much. I mean, both teams, they said it really, really early in this game. Right when the Bears were going for their first 4th down. It was, man, both these teams are going to be going for a lot of 4th downs in this game. They're going to be doing it a lot. Because the wind is playing a factor, and both kickers have not played very well this season. We're struggling in warm-ups. So it was, hey, we're going to go for it on 4th down a lot. And that's what happened. 6 turnovers on downs for both teams. So, again, like, I feel like I've had to say this almost after every win this season. But there are some caveats. Like, again, there are plenty of places for this team to improve. And I would like to see them not continue to play in these tight games. It's the fact that they're winning these tight games game in, game out. They shouldn't have been down 10 against this team. But again, you still come out with the W. At the end of the day, winning by 4 and winning by 34, it all counts the same in the win column. A win is a win. Though again, there are some reasonable concerns to think about, hey, this team is keeping it close. I'd like to see them pull away. And that, to me, I think, is the big takeaway from this game, is that, again, they come out with a win. It's, you got to find a way to put this team away earlier. So, I think that, again, finding ways to win close games is an art. There is a strategy to winning close games. You can say all you want, this team's on fraud watch. Okay. Who thought that this team was going to be a contender in the NFC this year? Who predicted this team to be a contender in the NFC? This wasn't supposed to be, this wasn't supposed to be a year where they were going to be going to the NFC Championship. That wasn't the expectation I had. If you had that expectation, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But finding ways to win close games is really important for this team, especially in a year where it's first-year head coach, whole new coaching staff. You're trying to find an identity. And now the identity has shifted from this team blows every one-score game that they're in, every tight game that they're in, they're going to blow, to now they're finding ways to win. They're 4-1. They're now 4-1 in one-score games this season. They're 4-1. And a lot of that is largely at the hands of the quarterback. Caleb Williams has led 4 game-winning drives in his last 6 starts. There really isn't any there shouldn't be any argument for that. He's won 4 games out of his last 6 via game-winning drives. So the guy comes through in the clutch. Again, how many game-winning drives did Justin Fields have in his career with the Bears? 2? Maybe? 3? Maybe? One true game-winning drive when they were down and they ended up winning. And that was against the Vikings a couple of years ago, and he got 3 chances to do so. So, the guy is clutch. Caleb Williams put this team on his frickin' back. Like, again, here you go. 2 touchdown drives, right? 20-10. This is where the game changes. They start Russell Wilson. They get down to the end zone and do not score. They do not score a touchdown. 11-yard gain, then 6-yard run, and it's a loss of 1, and then a 1-yard gain for Russell Wilson. They kick the field goal. They go up 10 points. Turn it over on downs. Not good. Not good on this play. This is really frustrating because it's like, okay, we're into the into the fourth quarter. Then they force a punt. Couple penalties for the Giants too. Like, the penalties were really hurting New York. The Bears did not make the mistakes the Giants did penalty-wise. Again, only 3 penalties for the Bears in this game, and that was a key portion on why they were able to stay in this game. Because it became a 3-and-out for the Giants. Touchdown. Touchdown drive right after. 7 yards on a scramble, and it was a pass to Loveland for a first down. 2 incompletions, and then we get to was it this? This play. This play. 3rd down and 10. Your team's down 10 points in the fourth quarter. Gets away from pressure and fires a laser beam where you got soft hands. Soft hands from Colston Loveland. That's a guy, and it was that catch that makes me really happy that we got a guy like Colston Loveland, because with the drop problem that this team had throughout this game, we've got a guy who is used to these conditions. Grew up in Idaho, played his college ball at Michigan. This guy knows, lives and breathes cold weather football. And this guy absolutely, with a great catch, moves the chains. They end up scoring a touchdown on this drive. There's a penalty on the Giants after... Oh, yeah, there was another drop. Yeah, it was literally an intermediate pass right into the hands of Zacchaeus, and he dropped it. So he had 5 targets and 3 drops. Maybe 4. Whether or not you want to... The 4th one, you can argue whether or not. But, again, 2nd down. Deep to Odunze for 18 yards. And then he scrambles for 29 and then finishes the drive with a touchdown pass. Touchdown, 9 plays, 91 yards. A 91-yard touchdown drive in 2 minutes. 3 plays, -8 yards. Finished with a sack by CJ Gardner-Johnson. Followed up 4 plays, 53 yards in a minute. 4 yards, 53 yards in a minute and 6 seconds. Deep pass off of a terrible punt, by the way. Terrible punt. And again, it's like, take advantage of these. And they did. 27 yards to Luther Burden after he bulldozed ahead for probably another, let's see. Can I find it? Yeah, here. On this route. There's a great route by Luther Burden. Sells the deep route and then comes back and makes it. And then look at the way that he just lowers the shoulder and just goes straight ahead. Straight ahead for another first down. Big time yards, man. That is huge. And then this is the 29-yard run on first, or on whatever it was, leading to the touchdown. Like, he almost got in, took a big hit at the end of this play. But, like, also, I know I'm jumping around here a little bit, but, like, come on, man. Look at this. 3rd down, and a unblocked corner blitz. Bang. 2 sacks on this game, and that was a huge momentum shift. I think it was one of those, it was the combination of the fact that the Bears could have touched on our last drive, and then forcing a 3-and-out, ending with a sack. I knew they were winning this game. I knew they were coming back and winning this game. Let's see. But yeah, look at this. Fine. Look at this scheming. Wide open. Just a great vision. Finds him in the end zone. Let's see. Yeah. This cannot happen. This is one of those things where the Bears have not had a team like this in a while where they've gotten in their own way so many times. I feel like I've seen what the Giants did in this game. I feel like I've seen from the Bears so many times. They're up by 10 in the fourth quarter. They allow the one score. The other team has all 3 timeouts, 3 and out, and then something like it's a catastrophic meltdown. All phases. You know, something freak too, like the punter goes off of his outside of his foot and it's a bad punt. I've seen this so many times from the Bears. It's nice to see them take advantage of mistakes like this. But I also want to talk about this. I've seen some... this was a huge point in this game on a 4th and 1. A really good throw from Jackson Dart to find his tight end. But I got to give credit where credit's due. Jaquan Brisker, that's a crucial play right there. Does not complete the process of the catch as he loses the ball because Brisker's got his hand in there, continuing to finish the play and go through the entire way through and not giving up. Ball comes out, it's incomplete. You got to finish the play. You have to finish the play. Yeah, he's got his knees down. The play doesn't end here. He's got to finish the process, and the ball comes out right after. And that's on 4th down. No points for the Giants. Again, 1 for 4 on 4th down for the Giants. 1 for 4 on 4th down with the Bears. Both teams were giving each other the ball. So many opportunities. Let's see. I don't want to highlight Kyle Monangai here on a 8-yard touchdown run. Just nose down, right through the heart, bang, touchdown. Yeah, here it is. This is what I was looking for. A great sell on the route from Luther Burden, and it's well-timed, good throw, wide open, soft hands. Soft hands, makes the catch. And he's, again, dead to rights, right here at the 28-yard line. He gets inside the 20 on this play. Like, come on. They go for the strip. He misses, and he just... angry run for a first down. And that's one of those things where it's just... this team has dogs on their side that'll make plays. They'll make plays when it matters most. Luther Burden didn't have too much in this game. He didn't do too much because he didn't have too many targets. What was it, 3 targets? Yeah, just 3 targets, but 51 yards. I was very, very happy with how Luther Burden played at the end there, that catch and run. I really do think that a game like this should show a sign to the coaching staff to switch up in the receiver core. Make Luther Burden the 3rd target, your slot receiver, something. Make it so that Luther Burden's getting a lot more targets and a lot more attention. Because Zacchaeus, and it wasn't just the fact that Zacchaeus was ineffective as a slot guy. He was targeted on 2 deep passes of, probably 20-plus yards. 2 drops. 1 in the end zone, that would have been a touchdown. So, a lot of mistakes from both sides in this game. But the Bears end up coming out with the victory. Like, I said it last week, the offense didn't need a lot to change because, it's like they scored 47 points. There isn't a lot, wrong with the offense here. Here, it's like, okay, I can see. Didn't have too many splash runs like we did last week. That was a bit expected. The Giants have a good front. And again, the Giants have a really good front. Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, and Brian Burns. This is insane. It's insane how those 3 guys had endless opportunities to bring down Caleb Williams, and they just could not. Caleb Williams refused to go down in this game. He finishes the game with no sacks. I mean, this team needed everything that they had in this game to win after what was a pathetic offensive showing in the first 3 quarters. But, again, who shows up in the 4th quarter? Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. That's the end of the story. Who comes through when they need it the most and when they're down one score in the final 5 minutes of the game? Caleb Williams. It's that simple. The only time that he didn't come through was in literally their first game of the season, when it was just a lot of people were still just, here we go again. And that's the worst loss of the season so far. You know, we can talk about, man, want week 1 back, but I think that week 1 against the Vikings was a huge character building loss, because if they don't end up losing that game, or if I think after they lose that game, there's a lot of growth this team has to do. Same thing goes after they lost to Detroit. Everything had to happen for them to get to this point. I don't think it's as simple as if they win against Minnesota, it's 7-2, clear as day. There's probably a game that they end up losing, right? They probably end up losing maybe to the Raiders or the Commanders again. They probably lose one of those one-score games that they have won now. So there's a chance to get revenge. I know that this team's going to be hungry to get a win, and the Ravens ended up beating the Vikings as well. J.J. McCarthy threw 2 picks in that game. I think that this Bears team really needs to try and pick off J.J. McCarthy once or twice in this game. And it's always going to be interesting when you play a team for a second time. The first time that this team's going to do that this season, they'll have 2 other opportunities when they play Green Bay and Detroit for the second time, but those don't come till week 16 and 18 respectively. So I really do think that despite all of it, there is a level, there is a clutch element to this Bears team. We dog on teams that find ways to lose all the time. And at some point, just winning close games is an art. You get immediately put on fraud watch across people who are neutral fans or just fans across the league, and that's fine. I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about my team who has had 1 winning season in the last decade and a half and continuously find ways to lose games. I don't care if they're winning 1-score games. That's a good thing. The Texans just won their first 1-score game of the season. They're now 1-5 in 1-score games. They're 4-5. If they get 2 of those games to go their way, they're 6-3. Well, no. Yes, they're 6-3. It's that simple. Find ways to win 1-score games, and you're going to be a very good team in this league. Look at what the Chiefs did last year. They went 15-2 in the league last year. Did not lose a single 1-score game. What was it, like 13-0 in 1-score games last season? At some point, winning close games is a reflection of your team's ability to come through late in the clutch. You can let teams hang around all they want, but when the game comes down to the very end and someone has to make a play or someone's going to have to make a mistake, Patrick Mahomes never made the mistake, was always finding ways to win football games. So far, that's what Caleb Williams has done this year. The only time that he's thrown a back-breaking interception was Week 8 against the Ravens. It's the only time he threw an interception in the 4th quarter. The guy does not turn the ball over. The only thing that I really want him to improve is just some more high percentage throws. He really does hurt his completion percentage playing a little bit hero ball when he escapes out of sacks trying to make plays out of nothing. Sometimes squeezes into tight windows. But, you know, that's how it goes. And again, like 7 or 8 drops to the Bears today. So while the completion percentage is not going to look that great on the stat sheet, this is a moment of when you actually watch the game over and you sit there and enjoy the game and you really are able to look at it, you're able to see that it's not just inaccuracy. There were balls, like several balls that hit guys in with 2 hands and they dropped it. Zacchaeus had to happen like 3 times in this game. Swift had to happen once. Monungai had a drop. So that's, I think, going to be the big question mark going into next week. But also, they're going to be playing in a dome next week in Minnesota. So, you know, that's kind of how it goes, right? The Bears are going to have to play in a dome. So you think these guys are going to have more of some more sure hands. That's what you hope. Anyways, let me check what Twitter's saying. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I want to showcase this here too. This is a good point. The one fourth down conversion that this team converted. DeAndre Swift with an angry run.
Nobody's picked one up.
Lowers the shoulder and it maybe absorbs some helmet-to-helmet contact in the process. And just absorbs this hit as he gets hit the line of scrimmage. The biggest complaint that I've seen Bears fans make with DeAndre Swift, he doesn't play through first contact. He's not a great running back after first contact. He either just falls to the ground or slips. Something, he's not great after first contact. Stayed up on his feet. And then shoves off a tackler. Big run. Angry run. Big. Conversion on fourth down. So, gotta love to see that specifically.
By Devin Bush.
Yeah, and that's the big thing here. I'm just looking at this here. The Bears were 0-2 to start this season. Like, just remember that. The Bears were 0-2 to start this season. Usually a death pit. Not quite as insurmountable as the 0-3, the dreaded 0-3 start, but they went 0-2 to start the season with 2 losses against divisional opponents. They are 6-3. They have won 6 of their last 7 games. This team continues to find ways to win. I gotta say, I'm very, very happy with the effort this team continues to put up in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, this team continues to come through in the clutch. It's insane. But yeah, here we go. Here it is. Let's take a look at the Olamide Zaccheaus drop. On the run, from behind his own 30-yard line, there's a dot. There's a dot right into his hands. Right in his hands. That's a touchdown. He literally has both hands on it. Dropped. Beautiful throw. This should be a touchdown. This should be a touchdown. They did score on this drive, so that's nice, but, like, still. Yeah. And then I want to talk about this as well, the game-winning touchdown run. Let's see. Where is it? Is it at? Yeah. Where is it? Come on. Where is it? Where is it? Holy cow! I lost it in my. Here it is. Here it is. Talk about putting the team on your back. A run. Stays on his feet inside, gets to the edge, evades a tackle. Touchdown. Like, the guy found a way. That's it. Like, his 2 rushing touchdowns in his career have been from, like, 1 and 3 yards out. Finally able to get to see this guy able to put it in the end zone on a longer run like this. And this is a huge situation, too. I'm very happy that he's able to take it in for the game-winning touchdown. He does it with his legs, because he's been doing it with his legs in big moments, but he hasn't really gotten rewarded with that touchdown on the ground. 8 carries, 63 yards, 7.9 a carry when he runs the football. That's it. That's it right there. Obviously, that completion percentage needs to get up. But again, the guys dropped the ball a lot in this game. Zacchaeus had 4 drops, probably. Three or 4 drops. Monunga had a drop. Swift had a drop. Like, these guys got a haul on the football. That's a big thing. That was a touchdown taken off the board to Zacchaeus in the first drive. I know they scored a touchdown later on that drive, so, it kind of ends up canceling itself out. Monungai had 1 target, he dropped it on a check down. Swift on a 4th down, he dropped it. Like, these are good balls. Zacchaeus dropped another 3rd down pass that hit both of his hands. Like, these guys got to do a lot of just catching drills. They got to shore up the fundamentals here. Because Zacchaeus should not have 1 catch for 5 yards on 4 targets. Shouldn't have that happen. Especially when he's got his hands on the football. Colson Loveland, again, really nice game. I don't know. This is a brutal loss for the Giants, too. It's now an 11-game road losing streak. Jackson Tart played well and got taken out of the game. I mean, that's just the end of the day. That's what the momentum shift was. Jackson Dart left the game. The team musters 3 points on their next drive. They can't snap the neck and end the game. And the Bears come alive in the 4th quarter, which is something you have not been able to say about the Bears for the last, I don't know, however long. Probably at least a decade. At least a decade. This has not been a team that comes through in the clutch. And this team finally has a quarterback that comes through in the clutch. Jackson Dart was sacked twice. Russell Wilson was sacked twice. This rushing offense was terrible in the first quarter. In that first half, they woke up. They woke up in that second half. Jackson Dart was a spark plug for the rushing offense. But Tyrone Tracy didn't have a terrible game. He kind of woke up a little bit in the second half. But, Darius Slayton, 4 catches. He had that amazing catch at the end of the first quarter. That was a stunning catch. It's so funny because Darius Slayton is a guy that I know Giants fans absolutely hate because he ends up dropping the ball a lot. But it's like, it's that weird dichotomy where the guy pins it against his leg, his thigh or whatever, is able to haul in a miraculous catch, and then sometimes the next pass that's thrown to him hits him right in the hands and falls onto the ground. It's really weird how that kind of stuff works, but hey, he had a good game. He had 2 big completions, was the reason they scored a touchdown early in that second quarter. But a couple drops for the Giants as well. Wan'Dale Robinson, it was Wan'Dale Robinson had a bad drop on that final drive. So that's not what you're wanting if you're a Giants fan. But, again, both teams were shooting themselves in the foot. The Giants were really shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. The Bears were dropping the ball a lot, taking longer to move down the field. Jackson Dart fumbled. He almost threw a pick. I got to give credit where credit's due. Gunnar Olszewski played defense, really good defense late in that first half. Prevented a terrible red zone interception for Jackson Dart. Nashawn Wright had it, and he just playing defense. He punched it right out. So you got to give credit where credit's due. There, I think the Giants ended up settling for a field goal on that drive. So that saves 4 points. Or no, that play by Olszewski saved 3 points. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, no, Joe Davis was getting a lot of credit for this guy too. Demetrius Flanagan fouls. Got to give a lot of credit to this guy. Again, he said that this guy was hurt or not hurt. He was more of a special teamer throughout his career, and he's now in because of injury. And he just stepped up to the plate. A tackle for loss, 5 solo tackles, 7 total tackles. He was around a lot. And he was a problem for this Bears team, mainly because they were so prepared and focused on Burns, Thibodeau, and Carter that they kind of let a guy like Flanagan Fowles come alive. Did Abdul Carter really not get a single tackle? Yeah, the only time the Giants got home to Caleb Williams, it was taken away by penalty. He really didn't register a tackle. Jeez. There's a ghost out there. But yeah. A lot of things to clean up. I'm really hoping that there is some sort of accountability that Johnson holds to these guys during practice. And I'm pretty sure when I go back and watch the press conference, you'll be saying yet again, we're not good enough after coming away with the win. I'd like to see that change. I'd like to see them pull away from an opponent for the rest of the year, but the schedule gets so much harder after this. That, to me, is why this game was so important to just win, because the schedule gets so much tougher. You get the Vikings next week. Now, granted, they are 4-5, but they did already beat you this season. And then you get the Steelers, who right now, I don't think they play this. And this is their bye week. Steelers don't play this week, do they? I think it's their bye. No, they already played their bye week. No, they play on Sunday night. Sorry, they play on Sunday night. They're currently sitting at like 6-3, I think. Yeah, they're like 6-3 right now. It's a tough team. That team just continues to play, and they have Aaron Rodgers, who just notoriously has played well against the Bears. So there's that. Then you got to go play at Philly, who have, even if they haven't been as dominant as they were last year, still a really good football team. You got to go on the road on Black Friday. You then have to go on the road to Green Bay. Then you get the Browns at home, which you should win pretty comfortably. Then it's the Packers at home. The Niners on the road, which despite all their injuries are still a pretty respectable team themselves. And it's the Lions at home. So the schedule stiffens up significantly from here on out. They got one team that is like truly bad left on the schedule. They've got I think it's 2 under 500 teams left on the schedule. It's the Vikings next week, and then the Browns week 15. Everyone else they're playing is over 500. So this team probably needs 4 wins to get into the playoffs. If they take care of business against the Vikings and the Browns, they got to find a way to win probably a game against the Packers, and you got to probably find a way to beat the Niners or the Steelers. And that's 10 wins. They can do it. I think this team can get to 10 wins. And I say that mainly because, again, they're continuing to find ways to win. They're finding ways to win. Who cares if it's not the prettiest thing on the planet? Winning is what matters in this league. At the end of the day, this isn't college football where how you win matters. It's just straight record. What's your record? What's your head-to-head with a team for a tiebreaker maybe? That's it. All you need to do in this league is win your games and you get to the playoffs. This isn't college football where it's the critics and the media and the analysts that are really analyzing everything and be like, who really deserves to be in all that junk? It's strictly who won the most games. And the Bears are continuing to find ways to win games. Will they win a playoff game? I don't know. Depends on who they play on the road. Depends on who they play. But as it stands right now, if the Lions lose, which doesn't look like it's happening, they're up 22-10 against an injured Commanders team. They're probably going to find a way to win that game. But if the Lions lose, and if the Packers lose tomorrow night, the Bears will be top in the NFC. They will be in first place in the NFC North. They'll be winning the division. So that's worth something through 9 games. You're winning your division potentially. The toughest division in football, the only division in football going into this Sunday where every team was 500 or better. Now not, since the Vikings are now 4-5. That's the end of the line right there. So it's insane, man. It is insane to think about this team as good again. They're a good team. They got some good pieces out there. And despite all of these injuries and all of these mess ups, right? Like there's so many things that can be improved week in, week out. There's always so many things that it feels like this team is going to lose a game eventually, a close game like this, but they just don't right now. So, yeah. Caleb Williams, in my opinion, passes the eye test with this game. Some great throws that were dropped. Led the team down 10 points to 2 touchdown drives. So, I'm very impressed. The rating can go up. The completion percentage can go up. I don't really care at this point. Again, at the end of the day, what matters more than anything else in the NFL? Wins. And wins necessarily aren't a QB stat. You know, I'm not going to sit here and start pivoting now that Justin Fields is gone, because I continuously defended Justin Fields and clamoring that wins are not a QB stat, because there were several times where he played pretty well and they'd still lose by one score because the defense let up 30 points or whatever, right? It's one of those things that you just look at it, the eye test, and just you go off on vibes. And despite a rough first 3 quarters, this guy came through in the fourth quarter again. He continues to do it in his career with the Chicago Bears. The only time that he has had game-winning drives spoiled is when the other team has gone down and scored right after, or some other blunder from the coaching staff ruins it. Like, he got into field goal range to beat the Packers. Kick is blocked last year. They get the touchdown against the Commanders after a terrible game from him. Comes through in the fourth quarter, they go in front, and they let the Hail Mary. He's not on the field for that. And against the Lions, there should be a timeout taken by the head coach. The rookie quarterback should not have to take a timeout. You can pin it on him or whatever. I don't really care. But there are several drives and moments last year where a lot of Bears fans were like, they lost that game. That sucks. But there was some nice stuff leading up to the catastrophic meltdown to end up losing the game. Like, there were some nice plays from the quarterback to get us in position to even win that game, right? It is very, very nice to see a Bears quarterback who comes through in the clutch. And that is the big takeaway for me. Would I like to see them win by multiple scores next week? Absolutely. Absolutely. I want them to win by multiple scores next week. I don't know if it happens, because guess what? They should have beat the Giants by multiple scores this week. They didn't. Oh well, a win's a win. It all matters the same. Anything after the fact is just discussion and potential arguing. So, I don't know. Bears win 6-3. Any final thoughts from anyone in the chat? Let me know. If not, we're going to go ahead and end this stream, and I'll go ahead and get my reaction video uploaded, and then we'll have fun. Have a great week enjoying this. And then we'll see what they do against a divisional opponent on the road. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm really interested to see how this team prepares for a hostile environment on the road. It's different than when they played the Lions. There was a lot more at stake. It wasn't just a divisional opponent on the road. It was all the drama with Ben Johnson coming back to Detroit and whatnot, right? Like, there was a lot of tension and emotions in that game. I want to see Ben Johnson against the Vikings on the road. He's won several times in Minnesota with the Lions. How does he do against a Vikings unit that is 4-5? It's really interesting to see how the Vikings have played this season. They have moments where I feel like this team. I think the Vikings and Ravens are both better than their record suggests. Let's see. I'm trying to look like, they're gonna have to go up against Blake Cashman. They're gonna have to go up against Andrew Van Ginkel. They're gonna have to go up against Ivan Pace. They're gonna have to go up against Jonathan Grenard. They're gonna have to go against Javon Hargrave, Dallas Turner. Like, that defense is really good. We'll see if this Bears team can dice him up. And I think that, again, Ben Johnson is the guy to tear apart a Brian Flores defense. And now that they have a full game's worth of film on him, I think that they can prepare for this one a lot better as well. Because in week 1, there was a lot of lingering issues from last season with taking too many sacks, putting endless pressure on the quarterback. I feel like this team has found more that is oh my god, I lost my train of thought. This team's got to find ways to overcome the overcome the blitz and the defensive scheming that Brian Flores has, because that Vikings defense is very good, and they have a lot of playmakers that can really wreck a game when they are hot. They're nigh unstoppable. So, I think that this game against Minnesota is going to be a good measuring test. They've played a lot of bad defenses recently. We'll see what they can do against a defense that can really wreck teams. So, yeah. That to me is kind of it. It wasn't like Lamar Jackson had a stellar game. 17 for 29, 176 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. Was sacked only once, though. So, they leaned on their running game quite a bit. I don't know. I'm going to be really excited to see what's going on. Yeah, definitely on Caleb Williams. The balls were hitting wide receivers' hands and they dropped it. Yeah, definitely. He should run with the ball. He should have the ball in his hands as he throws it, fly, and then just plop it right over their hand as they're running with it and just drop it in their hands. That's what he needs to do. That he needs to run the route for them too. And he needs to play defense too to gain some people's respect. It's ridiculous. It's the only comment I'll make about that. It's just ridiculous. Let's see. Yeah, here we'll take a look at this from Next Gen Stats. Here's the rushing to carry chart for Caleb Williams. Only had 1 tackle for loss. Had a couple of scrambles. Like, the guy was getting out of the pocket, and he was gaining a lot of yards. Like, look at these 2 runs on the sideline. Both of these runs, by the way, were with under 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Run around the sideline. One of them went for the game-winning touchdown. I say, I'm impressed. The guy has been very good at escaping out of sacks today. And this season. You know, it's not just, okay, if he escapes, that's what end up, most of the time when he's escaping sacks, the plays are going for no yards. If no positive yards, that's the thing. It's an incompletion. When he escapes sacks, he's not really just being corralled down again. He's getting the ball away or throwing it away, or he's throwing it incomplete. Like, so it brings down those numbers, but at the same time, the guy's just escaping. He's an escape artist. Anyways, if anyone has any sort of final comments, go ahead and drop those, and we'll take a look. Oh, here we go. Let's hear from our head coach about the quarterback.
I tell you, he's.
Oh wait, hang on. I gotta turn the volume on. Lamau. Sorry, guys. Here it is. That's the right source.
I tell you, he's. He looks like a Houdini back there in the backfield because, like I said, that's a really good pass rushing front that they've given a lot of teams fits. I think Burns is leading the NFL in sacks, and so there are times where he's trying to escape and making some things happen. He had a couple throws down the field, but like you said, over 50 yards again rushing for the second week in a row. And I thought in the fourth quarter there we really needed that as a shot in the arm to end up winning that ball game. So credit to him.
And how do you win?
Credit to him. It's like Houdini out there. The fact he didn't get sacked in this game is genuinely impressive. So, yeah. Man, I'm seeing a lot of people who are just like, how in the world did you guys quit on this team so fast? I'm seeing some of these people that are just like embarrassing loss. I'm like, the team doesn't look good, but like it's just like they didn't lose this game. When was this tweet put out? 12:25. Like this. Oh my goodness. Caleb put the team on his back. You are absolutely right, Jedediah. Absolutely put the team on his back. Oh, absolutely. What's up? How you doing? We're getting some people in here now. We might keep going a little bit. If people have some thoughts on the game, I can keep talking about. I've kind of got all my like rambling and box score watching out of the way. We're gonna look at some of the posts here, but like again, look at this. Immediately goes to run and just this usually he's taken out of bounds. Like he turns it upfield and gets to the edge. Touchdown. Game over at that point. That's what ends up being the winning score. This team is pretty clutch. Bear down, absolutely. And look, this is a very fair comment to make from the Bears blog. Do I think the Bears win if Dart stays healthy? Probably not, but Bears don't need to feel sorry for another team's injuries. They can't control that. They can't control that. That's not something the Bears can control. Do I think Dayball coach terrified of Russ? Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Russ has not shown anything this season that shows that he can be a starting quarterback in this league anymore. I'm honestly surprised they threw him out there and not Jameis Winston. But, you know, they're not, yeah, exactly. And that's fine. And at the end of the day, that's fine. They're not elite, but that's fine right now. This team went 5-12 last year. They've already improved on their win total, and it's the first weekend of November. The team's, yeah, you're right too. The team has been wrecked with injuries. The guys are not staying healthy. We're without our top two corners. We're without our top linebacker. And we just lost a guy on the defensive line that we paid a bunch of money for the season. So, the defense been wrecked with injuries. I'm not too concerned for the long run. This season, obviously, you know, there's things to improve on, but when they said that Jalen Johnson could come back later in the season, I feel like they would have actually brought him back if they were in the mix. I think that there is a good chance that if Jalen Johnson is available to be used this season, they're going to use him. Because I genuinely think that they sat Brisker last year after recovering from the concussion. The season was too long gone. I think they just sat him for the rest of the year, which is fine. But, you know, right? Ben Johnson's going to make this team scary. Again, they got to let it come together. This team isn't elite right now, and that's fine. Very rarely do you see teams make one-year turnarounds like that and become an elite team. Washington last year is an exception, and look what's happened with them this year. They're not necessarily a good football team, but they've also been wrecked with injuries, right? Their quarterbacks can't stay healthy. At the end of the day, Jaden Daniels can't stay healthy. Yeah, CJ GJ is one of those guys that I absolutely like. They said on the broadcast too, he is a guy that you absolutely hate when he's not on your team. You hate playing against him. But when he's on your team, guy can play well. I think him trash talking is part of the game. And Jaquan Brisker is a massive trash talker as well. He's also always yapping. It's such a bad combo for receiving cores. Those guys are definitely going to be getting under guys' skin. And again, if Gardner Johnson has proved anything, he can really get under some guys' skin. Look at what happened with Javon Wims 5 years ago. It's weird having him on this team now and him having an impact immediately right when he gets here. That's huge. The defense desperately needed a guy like him to make an impact. So, but it's there is a time and a place for patience, right? Some people don't understand that. Sometimes it's like, oh, well, we're always trying to be way too patient with these guys. They got to win now. There's difference. there's nuance with it. It's not just cut and dry. You have to be ultra patient. Everything's gonna be fine. Just give him some time, or you got to win right now, right now, right now. And he lost, and it's like, I get it, but right now with a first-year head coach, with first-year DC with the organization, first-year OC with the organization, so many new coaches, the players. There's so many new faces on this team, despite some of the top players remaining the same. There is definitely some growing to be had. And when it comes to patience, I will absolutely have some patience when this team is 6-3. I will definitely have patience when this team is 6-3. Give it a year or two, and I genuinely think a game like this will not happen very often, where they play down a competition like this against a team that's been pretty bad this year. And they'll beat them by multiple scores. They'll blow them out, right? But it's going to take some growth to get there. This team, I wouldn't say they're being bailed out by high-end talent, but they're definitely winning because of the guys that are on this team. They're definitely winning because of their talent, and they're definitely... Oh, my webcam just disconnected. I'm sorry, guys. Hold up. Hang on a second. What I'm trying to say is that the team's not just going to keel over, and they're not outmatched. They are the better team. They have the skill position players, and they come alive in the fourth quarter. All right. What's going on here? Sorry, y'all. I'm hoping you guys can still at least hear me. Camera. Oh, there we go. All right. I don't know what that was. It's good now. I like the trash talk. We need to get to a point where our other teams hate playing our defense. Absolutely. You know, and you think about some of these really good corners in the last handful of years that guys that are coming to the league now start watching. Guys like Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is a massive trash talker. Massive trash talker. I am totally in favor, and here's the thing. I am totally in favor of trash talking throughout the game. When you're in that moment, you're trying to get guys off their game, all that wonderful stuff. I'm hoping that there isn't a ton of trash talk post-game, right? I don't want to be known as that team that starts trash talking other teams before games, after games, calling out other players, right? I don't want to be that team because I know how much I hate it and how unlikable it makes your team look. That's the thing. It's getting under other guys' skin, but also knowing a time and place for that. So, I'm very, very happy with some of these guys. Yeah. But yeah, here's another one. Some guy literally just posting about today's loss. This happens at 12:48. The game's not over. The game's about to be over. And he's already calling it quits. Yeah, not so fast. Anyways, if anyone else has any, like, burning thoughts or any... Because I know some of you guys got here a little later. If anyone has any questions you want to ask me about how I feel about a certain thing, or go ahead. Let me know. Let's see. That's true. This was the lead. This was the lead. It was literally 20-10 with under 4 minutes to go. And they found a way to win this game. I don't get that type. It feels like they've never watched the NFL. Games go down to the very end all the time. Absolutely. Absolutely. Games go down to the wire all the time. There's a reason, like, I'll preface this right now. I'm highly, highly against betting and gambling in sports. The only thing I pay attention to is, like, the line, right? What are the odds, right? more so just from an analytical perspective, what you could potentially expect. It's a good way to measure expectations. How often do you see NFL lines go more than 10 points? Not very often. 10-point lines mean that this is going to be a rout, most likely. Well, I don't know what the initial line. Let's see. Giants, Bears, line. I don't know what the line was initially. Yeah. It looks like Vegas had it we were 4.5 favorites. The Bears were 4.5 favorites. 4.5 point favorites. Giants covered the spread, but the Bears won the game. But, like, that's what it is. Like, this is a 5-3 team going up against a 2-7 team, and the line is 4.5. The NFL always finds ways to get games close late in games. There's a reason why college football has so many wild spreads, especially when you have better teams and top-ranked teams playing against Group of 5 schools. Like, some of those lines, they literally set it in the 40s and 50s. So, it's... Yeah. I feel like parity in the NFL is really high. This year's really high. Even though the best teams have problems. And many of the teams that have been bad are getting a lot better. Yeah, like, that's the thing. I genuinely don't think that there is a front runner in this league this year. The parity has been great. Now, some people will try and say and twist the word parity to, oh, everyone's bad this year. There isn't a good team this year. And I hate that mentality in the sense it's like, teams that are 8-2 are objectively good. It doesn't matter how they're winning games. They're objectively good because, again, once you find ways to continue to win one-score games, it's a reflection of you guys coming through late in football games, time and time again. It's your ability to finish. It shows all that, and so it's one of those things that I don't know. Yeah, and exactly. That's what it means more so. The league's competitive. There isn't a true frontrunner. Let's see. I'll watch it in a little bit. I prefer the Bears to blow out the Giants, but games like this are, yeah, they're way more fun to watch. And it just, especially from, like, I don't know, man. There is so much with, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there are 7 games left in this season, and the Bears have already surpassed their win total from last year. I would absolutely prefer they blow this team out of the water. But wins are wins, and any given Sunday is absolutely true. The worst loss, here are the 3 teams the Bears have lost to this year. 4-5 Vikings, 4-5 Ravens, and about to be probably 6-3 Lions. Yeah, they're up 25-10 at halftime. They're probably coming away with that. Oh my God. Seattle's winning 38-7 at half. Are you serious? Wow. But, you know, it's one of those things where I would prefer that they end up beating these teams badly, but any given Sunday is super true. That was my point, sorry. The Bears have lost to the 4-5 Vikings, then now 4-5 Ravens, and the soon-to-be 6-3 Lions. Or 7-2? No, 6-3. My bad. 6-3. 6-3 Lions. You'd look at some of these other teams in the NFC. This is, of course, I cherry-pick this because this is in division. I pay attention to them. The Green Bay Packers are now 5-2-1, and their 2 losses are to a Cleveland Browns team that is now 2-7 and just lost to the New York Jets, and the 5-5 Carolina Panthers, who just lost to the then 1-8 New Orleans Saints. So it's like one of those things where those are really bad losses for the Green Bay Packers. You should be happy at 5-2-1. And by the way, that ties against the Dallas Cowboys team that has not been great this season. I'm gonna get off of here and make dinner. Good to see a positive Bears fans. Bears have a tough schedule and are winning games they're supposed to. And that at the end of the day, they should beat that team, and they beat that team. Doesn't matter how it happens. They should beat that team, and they beat that team. How they did it, you can complain about in terms of their potential and whatnot. They could have totally beaten them by more points, but I'm fine. Yeah, Green Bay plays a tough Philly team on Monday night. If the Packers lose and somehow the Lions blow a 15-point halftime lead to the Commanders, the Bears are first in the NFC North. So I'll leave it at that. It's not going to happen. They'll be at a probably second, maybe a tie for second if the Packers end up winning. Tie for, yeah. But 6-3, the team continues to find ways to win. Should it be this tight week in, week out? Probably not, but hey, team find ways to win. And that's what matters most. So anyways, thank you all for stopping by and saying what's up, chatting it up, talking about this big-time win for the Bears. And, yeah, I'll get recording on that reaction video, get that up, so you guys can go and watch that either tonight or tomorrow morning when you wake up. Anyways, I'm out of here. Have a great night. The first NFL Sunday, or no, last week was Daylight Savings. I was about to say first NFL weekend with Daylight Savings in effect, but no, that was last weekend. But, you know. Yeah. Hey, it was good talking to you. We'll see what the Bears can do next week against a divisional opponent. If they win that game, and especially if they win that game in multiple scores, their stock is going to go up a ton for me, because I think that this team is good and can be very good. But there's still a lot of growth to go. But at the end of the day, 6-3 is 6-3. So I'm not going to harp on them too much. It's a good win. Pick up another nice win. It's a comeback win. You got to come back against someone before you can come back against a really good team. So good to see that this team continues to find ways to win despite adversity in the fourth quarter. That is a huge thing that's going to pay dividends down the line against some of the best teams in the NFL going forward. That's what I think, at least. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your football Sunday. And if you're grumpy about this team or for some godforsaken reason, go outside. I know the sun's probably setting on the East Coast, but go outside, go make yourself a nice dinner, do something to get your mind off of it, or do anything but get off the internet. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your football Sunday, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the week, and I'll see you later, guys. Have a good night.